a draft with low damage, and I'm really worried about Corki's effectiveness staring down a Wukong and a Bessa and a Rakan, which is the main setup, right? So if you eat that charm because you can't play too far away from your team, we'll have to see a lot of bodies shifting into this river. And CN will secure that first grub. Unstoppable Onslaught, that's not coming to the top river. It might have scared some people, but Breeze going back towards that bot side. Question becomes, will Shadow use the Trickster to get over the wall to secure the last grub? No. They're going to give away these grubs, and not for very much gain. The Dragon still just chilling on the bot side of the map.
Yeah, exactly. I know that Chemtech is one of the Drakes that people don't necessarily...
The Light does spot on coming over, and they don't know where Knight is. So Light, you have to be real careful about coming up for this wave. And just as I'm giving him praise, he gets completely collapsed upon. No point burning any summoners. Light just accepting his fate there. First blood over to BLG Knight.
Nice and easily going to be picked up here as well. You do get to establish a good push in the mid lane. That's going to blow a teleport most likely out of Knight into the mid lane. And you're going to pick yourself up the Drake, so you are trading this for objectives. Waybo, they're not going to be mad about losing out onto that kill, but there was no reason for Light to step up there. There has been Slippery again. This is what you can do with the Rakan. You can just keep constantly stepping up forwards. As long as you've got somebody around to be able to battle dance to, you're so chill.
That's a big chunk. Oh, great Trickster! That is so unfortunate.
Yikes.
Chris thought he had a big Bass cop, but instead he just finds an empty line on the other side, and now Chris is going to have to pay for it with his life. He used everything to set up that engage onto Shadow, and Elk is still going to end up chasing him down. Going to use the Featherstorm Blade Caller to secure the kill. Tien jumps in a little bit too far forward. They want to go after Elk, but he does flash over the big pit. Doesn't matter. The Rocket finds him over the wall. Light picks up the kill, and the Cyclone will not save Shadow. One more shot from the Spear of Tien. Will he get it? Yes, he will. Wind becomes Lightning, and Lightning shuts down the Monkey. Holding a Dragon up for Weibo to secure that, and not a lot of turrets low enough to really capitalize on. But why do you need turrets when you can just hunt for feats of warfare with a good old dive on the bin? Has flash, has public execution. Could use it to get right back across the engage onto Chris. And look at On fly into the double charm into the grand entrance. The shockwave from Xiaohu not going to be enough because the turret's the MVP. Remember, that was a dive from Weibo. And they take a dive falling flat on their face going for it.
And they do that instead of just picking up the Drake for themselves, which gives more than enough time for the Rift Herald to be picked up. It's going to be charged into the mid lane. Breathe arrives just about in time to stop this. No, he doesn't. The tower still goes down. And look, topside. Breathe comes down to try to stop that tower going down. Just in map pressure upon map pressure right now. That is a rough series of plays right here for Weibo.
It's so promising to see BLG playing the map correctly like this. Has been... Trades his life 1 for 1, but you'll take that. The support gets the kill as he knocks down Xiaohu. And hey, remember when I was talking about good old feats of anything not being taken? BLG in that play took 2 in the matter of 10 seconds. We don't have time to talk about that, though, because the fighting has now just fully broken open. It is a war zone out here across Summoner's Rift as Light tries to knock around Crisp here on the backside of the fight, but the Cyclone does knock up Chris. TPing in is Breathe. Light flashes after Shadow. Try and find that kill. Knight gets knocked off of his Weaver's wall, but the flick back into the flash. The golden left hand is still left standing. Oh, Breathe. Oh.
You've got Knight and Breathe currently up on the top side of the map, duking it out over those waves, but no TPs on either of them, so Knight's going to head down.
Shadow was running at TM with torrential pace, and maybe it was because On is here. Gets the Charm, Grand Entrance combo, public execution, everything dumped onto TM. The Shockwave, not enough to save his jungler. Xiaohu has to watch TM fall, and likely watch the last tier 1 turret they have up fall after that. Light is here to try and cover, but their structure is gone. It might even be an Otacon turn here if BLG are feeling feisty. Started up simultaneously. There is a ward on the pit that is giving Weibo a clue. The BLG are just going for this Drake. They're trying to drag it away. Weaver's Wall comes out from Knight. Tien and Xiaohu are on the right side of it. Tien gets into the pit. Breathe, holding everyone at bay, but we're just going to 50-50 this thing. Coin flip it, and the Blade Caller of Elk wins it. Shadow can use the Trickster to create some space away from Tien, but they do catch out. Bin on the top side, goes a little bit too far forward, has to flash out. On using the Charm, though, to provide him just enough coverage to get back out of dodge.
On's looked really, really good so far on this Rakan, has been doing work and keeping his members alive. This is just going to be a full shove down onto this bottom lane tower. Do they even have enough damage to be able to do it? Yes.
They should have just enough. They take a lot of damage, including Otacon way out of its home base. Might be putting it lightly. My lord blocks her.
Yeah, this is very fast. Atakan is one of the slowest moving objectives usually, and this one has just been melted straight through. BLG, they're going to be able to pick this one up nice and jump back, you know, dancing his way through. Shadow is pushed away from stealing away a red buff on...
On gets caught. Oh, the Bloxer caster curse. They finally find the Recon, and now all bets are off. Waybo are chasing after Shadow. The Cyclone, the Trickster, can he get towards Light? Yes, just to give himself that shutdown kill. Little bit too pesky on the invade, and now BLG are paying the toll, and Bin's the next one to fall. Remember, he already used his flash earlier. A lifeline opening up wide for Weibo Gaming.
Everything was going wrong for Waybo, but they punish BLG on the over-aggression, and it all stems off the fact that On doesn't know that there's a Scion.
You can prod your way down with this champion if you're a tank here, so.
Yeah,
great itemization for Breathe, who is not present for this play, as Chris goes to the double crash down. Featherstorm coming across, the TP's coming in for Breathe, but Chris booked a one-way trip towards the fountain. The TP's just a bit too late. Waybo is disjointed, trying to make up their mind whether to go in or go out. And they got to go out one way or another from this Baron play.
It's just shredding this thing. It's down below half.
4v5. Tien's got to get in there. BLG, though, public execution hits back onto Xiaohu. Breathe, those going to create some distance. The Cyclone comes across. Huge crescent guard. Knocks a lot of members of BLG off the back of this fight. Tien's able to single out Bin. But the Blade Color, the damage from Elk's Zaya is very, very potent. He's going to have to flash away from Tien. Kiting back safely. Gets another Blade Color down.
Elk.
It's all on Elk. And boy, does he just smash down Weibo.
Every single one of those Blade Callers lands, stunning people up, and he's just able to shred through the opposition. That's going to be straight back onto the Baron. Crisp is here, though. Teleport coming in from Xiaohu. They have to walk away from this Baron, otherwise you're going to get your heads ripped off with just so much Orianna damage available.
You know, 10 seconds on Breathe without teleport. Yeah, they're going to have to give this. So they don't get the main course. They'll take an appetizer. Infernal Soul Point for BLG. Play to dump a ton into a 2.5 item Scion. Bin gonna be spotted trying to set up another public execution wrap of his own. Here we go. Unstoppable onslaught charge forward. Forces out the Featherstorm, but Chris has him in place. They have completely knocked Elk out of this fight at first, but it doesn't matter because look who flies in from the wings. It's both Bin and Shadow to take out Light. What does the fight look like with neither of these big-time marksmen? It looks like Knight is dancing around Chris, and Tien, whose Crescent Guard will protect him no longer. No Elk, no problem. BLG are going to find themselves a wipe of a fight, and Breathe might not even live through his giant health bar. No, he will not. Bilibili Gaming, ace down home.
It's still going to be a trade back. Breathe at least manages to pick one up, but Knight is going to be alive. Bin's going to be alive, and with a wave already pushing in right here, they can crack open the base of Waybo. It's 15 seconds until some of these big carries are back up and available. This is not going to be the end of the game, but still, to have the base open at this point in the game is huge right here for BLG, and that's a fight where they lose Elk right at the very beginning, and it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter at all. By spotting the Baron start, they get pulled off of that. They do get control of this mid wave, like you called out, that has super minions.
Yeah,
and I wonder if there's a base racing angle or just breaking down the front door if you're BLG. Got Weibo, and it's such a tough spot. Look, they can't decide what they want to do. Do they back out? Do they fight? Do they go for the Baron? All that's making a decision for them. Gets the multiple knockup, slips on out. Bin in the middle of all 5 members of Weibo, but he's taking a hell of a long time to die, and the GA does pop. Bin has done his job, distracted all of Weibo, and look at Shadow slipping in undisguised, but Light has more than enough damage to put him down, and it's once again the 80 carries become the prime, distinct pedestal of this team fight. But even with the zombified corpse of Breathe, Weibo are just out of juice, out of health bars, and out of ways to escape. The route that's coming, the golden left hand wants more blood. On puts him up. Another knockup comes across, and Breathe. Knight will find the kill, and flashing forward is Elk to find the ace. There it is. Open lane mid. BLG are going to take our first game 1-0. Elk and Bin are way too low, and now they're spotted. They're going to keep going for it. Not afraid to Breathe to come across the river. Infernal Soul picked up, and Shadow doing a really good job making sure nobody's getting cheeky towards that Baron pit. Makes this gold lead even bigger.
Melts.
And the same thing is true of Bloxer. Elk melts neutral objectives. Tien doesn't even sniff the pit before this one goes over. Weaver's wall comes down from Knight.
Oh, it's
Xiaohu's
great.
cut off. There's no way for the Orion to get in, so they go after Tien. The Crescent Guard does hit 3 members. Can Xiaohu get a big shockwave off? He's still waiting on it, gets on, but look at Elk over the wall once again, just dealing out tons of damage that nobody on Weibo has an answer for. Shadow flies in, Bin on the back end, trying to make sure nobody can escape, but nobody can shut down this big bad Zaya alongside Knight. The range damage dealers for BLG, again the focal point for a fight win.
That Baron lasted all of about 2 seconds, and that wasn't even with Knight hitting it. Now you've got the Baron buff available to you. This top lane tier 2 tower going to fall very, very quickly. What else can you get for this? You do not have that mid lane inhibitor down again. Knight going to get chased by Tian, and he has very little mana.
Oh, but he's got an Infernal Soul.
Nope.
Doesn't matter.
Push coming through on the bottom side of the map. The wave is moving away from BLG in the top side though, so they're not going to be able to sync up all 3 waves. That's going to make it a little bit harder potentially to be able to push forwards.
Knight though is going to drop the Weaver's wall. This is a good strategy to knock down the tier 3 turret, but the shockwave hits onto Elk. Gets chunked down to about half HP. Waybo trying to push forward to punish them for the redemption comes across. There's the crash down from Chris, but once again, Bin finds Xiaohu. He weaves the public execution through, and boy, does it take the wind out of the sails. It might have taken 10 minutes extra, but it's still BLG coming out on top in our opening bout.
This for the battle for second place right here in Group Ascend. Gonna go BLG's way in game number 1. Pick this one up. The wave down in the bottom side of the map is going to wander on through for them. Yes, it did take a little bit of extra time, Slayer, but it doesn't matter in the end. BLG look revitalized. Shadow has been so much to this team, but in this game, Elk has been ripping heads.
Elk finishes with an outstanding stat line, 20 KP and 1 death for Knight.
And you drop a Mega Inferno Bomb on their head and send a piercing arrow through their hearts is really nice. This BLG composition, in and of itself, does work. The Ziggs is so weird in this composition that I'm genuinely wondering if it was a mistake.
I don't even think they get any of them.
No, I don't know that they could even go and take the Drake at this point, which would be the only remaining pickup. Instead, looks like Shadow, he's just going to go for a clear onto his topside camps, bit of money into his back pocket, but doesn't get any effective stats for his team.
And the Dragon's still up. This thing might not fall before like 10 minutes after the setup you get with that Leona ultimate. And the Crab costs a summoner, and again, nobody looking to fight whatsoever. Maybe it's on. Does connect the Dredge line. Chains of Corruption a little far away, but the Depth Charge is going to line that one up. There's the Chains of Corruption.
Nice.
Gets the knockup. They're going all on to Crisp. Kill goes down nonetheless. Can Tien trade out Elk on the back end? Yes, 1 for 1. As the TP does come in from Xiaohu, and he's going to try and stream and shovel, but Shadow jumps into the Cataclysm.
Nice.
Look at the fancy footwork from Shadow.
Small thing, but we will track through if you end up missing an item breakpoint.
Oh. Nice.
Good.
Sorry.
That's a dragon. You get someone stuck in the Cataclysm and you could just drop the Mega Inferno Bomb on top of them. That is going to be nice. We're going to watch both top laners drop their ultis.
Bin has already gotten rid of the wave. He still gets feared up. Solar Flare stun into the current
stuns,
call. Great layering, and Crisp actually doesn't get touched by Bin, so that's not a kill given back over. It's 2 kills on Tien, who needs to prioritize this gold inflection as soon as possible.
Damn. I'm surprised right there that wasn't going to be a kill over, but unfortunately for Bin, he doesn't really get the luxury of thinking about landing a hit, landing a little bit of damage right there on the Crisp to make sure that it doesn't turn into an execute. So well played out of Waybo, and they are most definitely fighting their way back into this.
The bigger question, no, the Sand Soldiers stand tall. Look out for the piercing arrow, though. Does hit onto Xiaohu. Curtain call coming from the side, out of light, but Shadow's going to hunt him down. Does not commit the Cataclysm, though, to force the flash out of light because, yeah, exactly, Blockster. What do BLG care about most? Turrets, not kills right now.
Exactly. Now Shadow can jump on boards. Cataclysm goes on in.
I spoke too soon. And Shadow did not know about the Nocturne spell shield that cleanses the Orenhorn and feats of warfare over to Waybo. The Night Diff is stupid for BLG right now. He's up over 1,000 gold over Xiaohu, and he's about to increase that lead, because guess what? Satchel Charge knocks his turret down. Chains of Corruption has to be cleansed by Crisp. Here comes the Paranoia on the backside. Knight does not get hit by the Solar Flare stun. Instead, they're trying to lock up on, who will fall. The Infernal Bomb doesn't have enough damage to kill off Tien just yet. So Waybo get 1 kill back for their 3rd turret loss of the game.
they're getting for themselves that's so huge. Right now they can move on towards the Rift Herald. If they can pick this one up, it can be used on tier 2 towers now.
Okay, remember,
Oh,
no
Knight.
paranoia. Oh no, Crisp! Too
Yikes.
crispy, more like burnt on that flash. At least they'll get the Herald. At least they'll get the Herald. At least they'll get the Herald. Okay, all right, they get it.
But we also can't discount the fact that you get Varus in this game, and there's a reason Varus is so strong. He's in such a strong spot at the moment. Hang on.
Oh, Salvo is getting wrapped by Shadow. The Sand Soldiers are too late. Shadow again goes over the Emperor's Divide. The Inferno Bomb doesn't hit the main target, but it gets enough damage, and Elk's able to cleanse Flash out of the Leona stun. And the body block comes through. Mr. President
Nice.
Elk, you get out to safety. Oh, yeah, it will.
It will, but it's still not going to get them much for it, right? This is not going to actually take down the tower.
Oh,
Here comes Bin.
Horn into the depth charge, locks up the support. Crisp goes down with little to say about it. The Equalizer, a fleeting hope to try and keep Waybo's support up, but now they're in a 5 versus 4, and they really have to count all of their eggs before they try and hatch themselves a dragon play. Tien's getting chased down by Shadow, who dunks him into the Cataclysm, immediately forces the flash. Flag and drag after, but Shadow got what he wanted, gets the flash out of Tien.
Yep.
And now they can turn their attention towards the dragon, but first they got to clear out these control wards so they don't give Tien a way back in for a steal. But Shadow's taking a large amount of damage here from Light, who feels comfortable enough to open up the curtain call. It will not spell the end of this play for BLG just yet. Here comes the paranoia. They still have vision on the dragon. They're going to hold it and wait for Tien to go in. He goes all in for Elk, but again, he's just too safe. Deadly Flourish won't find his mark. Tien is down. That mission was as one way as they come. Inferno Bomb hits Light down for about 50% of his HP, and BLG patiently play the fight and come out the victor.
Shadow jumps in when he maybe shouldn't have done. But that didn't really get punished that badly. You get lost 1 kill. Shadow going in now onto Chris.
Please. But yeah, man, that's a pretty tanky Jarvan. Chris cleanses one of the stuns. Kurt Call comes across. Tien is in. Xiaohu, watch him for a little bit of Shuriman Shuffle action. Knock up Inferno Bomb. Holy moly, Breathe is getting deleted. And Bin, one more auto will find the first kill. Bin is way too tanky. He misses his Ornhorn. Not going to talk about that one, Bin, because he's just running down Light. Chris is trying to kite back to him, but Shadow has a flag and drag. Going to go after Light. Doesn't have the Cataclysm. Maybe went a bit too far forward. Chris is going to be the next target. His Knight is completely protected in this fight. And Elk is not going to fall just to the might of Tien. It has to be Xiaohu, because Light is having to run back towards his base. Weibo's front line is completely scattered as BLG find themselves a narrow but a fight win. So excited to just slap into this mid-tier 2 turret. A couple more autos from Elk to do it. Chains of Corruption going to hold Xiaohu in place as we go into the darkness. Inferno Bomb. Xiaohu's down to about half HP. Can't get anywhere into this fight. Tien's going all out after Elk, but maybe that's exactly what BLG wanted, because again, the force shot will not find the mark onto Elk. Elk survives, and that's the doom and demise of Waybo, and the Cataclysm might just be the cherry on top. 4 kills for nothing in the name of Bilibili Gaming.
And winning here is going to put them second in our standings.
Biggest fight win. Baron shouldn't be contested by Xiaohu, who's sticking around a little bit too long. And Knight is going to punish him for it. The golden left hand looking to swat another fly down in his way. And they're not done with Xiaohu just yet. Depth charge isn't going to land. Inferno Bomb has to be flashed because the sweet spot would have sent Xiaohu packing. But Knight wants more max range Q. Nope. Another one. The protection of this BLG front line. And Tien's going to have to let the soul go. Maybe go for a Paranoia steal. No.
Nope.
That's the state of Waybo right now. Giving away Ocean Soul way too far behind in a game that will end their series.
They just had so much control over the map. And this team, they just know how to make these fights work for them, even when it's a bit messy, even when it's scrappy.
And just as it started, the satchel charge shirt's breaking open. Might just be the very thing that ends it, because it's going to start off this fight where they go all after Xiaohu, eats a depth charge, an Inferno Bomb, everything, and boy, can he not stomach it. Curtain call coming on the back line from Elk, but there's just nothing to really find here except the corpses of his teammates. That force shot does finally connect onto somebody, but that someone is on who will valiantly give his life for the rest of BLG to wipe up another fight.
And that's now just going to leave you 2 remaining members to try to stop against this push. I don't know that this is going to be the end for BLG, of course, but they certainly can crack open the base anytime you've got a Ziggs. Towers, they don't really exist. Bye-bye to that one. Inhibitor going to go down too. And what a great inhibitor to be able to grab yourselves with the last little bits of your Baron buff. Bot lane, super minions pouring in. Now you can go play around the Atakan whilst not worrying about the state of these waves. Yeah.
This is what you can afford. To 2-man the Otacon at Let me see. I want to get the exact time for all those stats if people, if anyone's out there listening to me. 31-17. Let's see if that's the latest Opticon take we've seen since it transitioned to Thornbound.
17. That is very, very delayed right here. But without the Baron buff, it's going to be slightly, marginally harder to crack open the remaining towers in the base. The outside ones, nice and easy, of course.
All right, yeah.
I still don't know that they're actually going to be able to stop this push right here. I mean, you do at least have an Azir who's got some decently long-range wave clear. If Light can step up far enough to actually be able to get the bounce off, clear waves, but yeah, you can see the respect being given from Waybo. They don't even trust themselves.
All right, they're finally going after Knight. They do get the stun layer down, Inferno Bomb. Knight feared up. Will he die? The Shurelian Shield. Knight will finally burn through. But again, is it too little too late? That Ornhorn triple knockup for Bin says so, and he's flashing after Breathe. Sure, you lock down the golden left hand, but the rest of BLG is golden with an Elk pentakill.
Oh, it's a penta right there. Elk manages to pick it up. The one fight where everybody doesn't jump him from Waybo. He turns it around and says, mistake on you. This is going to be a 2-0 for BLG. Waybo get dismantled.
A head-scratching game, a unique single match of League of Legends, but disappointing not at all unless you're a Waybo fan. They will succumb to BLG and give up second place to Group Ascend as the prize.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.